Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Berman, getting set for kickoff in just a few minutes of our Holiday Bowl coverage in San Diego between #1 Brigham Young and Michigan. Michigan wins it, okay. Brigham Young is not the #1 team in the land, but the burning question, what happens if Brigham Young wins, and what happens if they win it big? Aren't they by far and away the #1 team in the country? Greg Wyatt sampled some opinion.
Does this look like a marching band with a 6-5 record? Does this look like a football team with a 6-5 record? These are the Michigan Wolverines, out to play Giant Killer for the second time this year. They knocked off #1 Miami and hope to beat #1 again. That heated debate, are they really #1, has attracted media to this so-called minor bowl game from all over our country. We talked with San Francisco Examiner columnist Art Spander and AP New York's Herschel Nissenson about the Cougars. Are they really #1?
They've beaten everybody they've played, and no other team in the country can make that claim. And the way the championship is decided, that's the way it's always seemed to have been. If you win them all, and you're the only one to do it, then you're the national champion regardless of who you play.
The New York Times, which has this computer poll, and BYU is down there someplace near Carlsbad Caverns. But I mean, you play everybody and you beat everybody, you should be #1. I think certainly their schedule hasn't been as tough as, let's say, Pittsburgh or Notre Dame, but when they've played good teams, they've beaten them.
The soft schedule rap against the WAC doesn't hold up in postseason play. The youngest of the 7 major conferences is 14-9 since its inception in 1962, 5-1 since 1980. How does the BYU administration feel about the attacks about their cushy schedule?
When you're 12-0, you don't have to apologize. I don't think we're on trial. We've gone out and played Pittsburgh, Tulsa, Baylor, Air Force Academy, University of Hawaii, awfully good football teams. We don't have to apologize for that. We're just let the pollsters take care of the polls, and we'll try to take care of business on the football field.
The BYU Cougars are the first #1 team in the 49-year history of the AP poll not to go to one of the 4 major bowl games. It's been a hot and heavy controversy here in San Diego, so we decided to go to the #1 expert, America's #1 Miss America, Charlene Wells, for the answer.
Well, I'll set it straight right now. By saying that BYU is not #1, that's discounting anyone that is in the top 10, that's not in the top 10, and saying they don't know how to play football. And so I think that BYU is #1. Obviously, I'm from BYU, but I think they play a great game, and I follow them just like anyone else. They're #1. They'll be #1 after Friday, too.
Greg Wyatt, ESPN, San Diego.
I guess that makes it tough to argue with. We'll be by with halftime with all the scores elsewhere in the world of sports, but football coming up in a moment.
Oh, you can't say no to a pistachio. You can't say no to the smile. With a California pistachio, the grin'll keep you grinning all the while.
Ooh, pistachios. California pistachios. How can you say no to such a friendly face?
No matter what shape you're in, everybody needs exercise.
In exercise, Nautilus is the undisputed leader for a very simple reason. It works.
If you're serious about exercise, and you should be, why not the best?
For full information about the new and revolutionary Nautilus for the home, call toll-free 1-800-445-9000. That's 1-800-445-9000.
Do you have anything in aviation?
The Army's most technical training
Are there any openings in communications?
is also the Army's most popular training.
I'd really like computers.
So it pays to have a reservation.
Electronics.
If you qualify, you can get a guaranteed reservation for the training you want up to 12 months in advance, even if you're still in high school.
Be all that you can be.
We'll see you after graduation.
You can do
That's great.
in the army.
Thank you. Congratulations.
The National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics is an organization serving more than 2,000 members of the collegiate athletic community. Because its members share common problems and opportunities, NACTA conducts management seminars which focus on contemporary and long-range strategies. State-of-the-art business technology is keeping collegiate athletic departments in step with the times through NACTA.
You are looking live at sold-out Jack Murphy Stadium from a view from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia, based in Carson, California, with pilot Nick Nicolari from El Toro, California, and our cameraman Don Pearsall. We welcome you to the first day of winter, and yet in Southern California the temperature is 58 degrees. Relatively clear skies. You get a look at Robbie Bosco, the starting quarterback for the Brigham Young Cougars, and hello, Santa Claus. That's interesting ways to enter a stadium, Santa Claus. I thought he used the reindeer and sled. What, did he get away with that?
No snow here. Remember, no snow here.
Howard David with Paul McGuire, Mike Smith and Greg Wyatt on the sidelines. This game has been billed as the national championship game, primarily because of this man, Robbie Bosco, against the Michigan defense. That seems to be the storyline of the ball game. Can Michigan hold Bosco out of the end zone long enough to keep Michigan in the football game? Watching the skydivers coming into Jack Murphy Stadium, a record crowd tonight of 62,100. It's the record for Jack Murphy Stadium as you get a look at Glenn E. Bo Schembechler, the head football coach for the Wolverines of Michigan. And their starting quarterback, Chris Zerbrug. He was third-team quarterback at the beginning of the season, but injuries necessitated his move to number 1. University of Michigan Wolverines, Paul McGuire, have been maligned a little bit in that their 6-5 record normally wouldn't warrant a national championship game. But don't underestimate the Wolverines, a 6-5 record, and yet they have played 7 bowl-bound football teams.
I think the interesting thing about Michigan playing BYU, Howard, is the fact that they have a chance, and you can't tell Michigan they're not a good football team at 6-5. They have a chance to knock off the #1 team in the nation, and there's no other team here to do that.
You're watching the co-captains in the middle of the field. Miss America, former Miss Holiday Bowl of 1983. The referees for tonight's game is Wendell Shelton of McKinney, Texas. The umpire, Bill Voss from Abilene. The linesman, Bobby Ratliff of Hearst, Texas. Line judge, Bobby Baker of Garland. The field judge is Mike Wetzel of Austin. And the back judge is Larry Weeks of Waco, Texas. They are all Southwest Conference officials. All the ballyhoo this week, Paul McGuire, about whether or not Brigham Young is indeed #1. We have talked about it at length throughout the entire week, and so are the members of the media. And by the way, this is the largest turnout of media members in the history of the Holiday Bowl. Should Brigham Young be #1?
They win this football game, and I don't care if they win by 1 point or 30 points. They're still #1, the only undefeated team in the nation.
Well, Michigan has certainly had the experience of being in bowl games before. There is no doubt about that as you get a look at Sim Nelson, who is the starting tight end for the Wolverines of Michigan. 39 receptions on the season, 11.5 yards per catch and 3 touchdowns. Michigan starting lineup, their offensive line. The tackles are Clay Miller and John Elliott. The guards, Bob Tabashino and Mark Hammerstein. And the center is Art Valordis. Starting quarterback Chris Zerbrug, the fullback Bob Perryman, the tailback Rick Rogers, who's been injured this year, Triando Markray, the flanker Vince Bean, watch him, the split end, Sim Nelson, the tight end. And the kicking team for the BYU Cougars, led by Lee Johnson, who'll be kicking off for Lavelle Edwards Cougars. They are 12-0 on the season, a record of 23 consecutive victories. The last time they lost was in the opening game of the 1983 season when they lost to Baylor. Since that time, they have won 23 in a row.
For those of the people that did not hear the opening of the show, it was interesting that Howard and I had a chance to talk to Lavelle Edwards before the game. We'll go through the starting lineup first, and then we'll get back to it.
All right, here's the BYU defense. Larry Hamilton, Brad Smith, and Jim Herman, the 3 men up front. The linebackers, Kerry Whittingham, Marv Allen, Kurt Govea, and Leon White. The cornerbacks, Jeff Sprouse and Mark Allen. The weak safety, Kyle Morrell. And the strong safety, Steve Hammond. The deep man standing at the goal line is Jamie Morris, the younger brother of Joe Morris, the running back for the New York Giant football team. And Morris watches it go through the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
Again, when we were talking to Lavelle Edwards today, we spent almost an hour with him, and you think that you want to talk about your offensive football team who gains almost 500 yards per game, over 30 points per game. They talked about his strong defense, saying that it is probably the best defense that he's ever had at BYU.
Schembechler's record in bowl games, not anything he's very proud of. He's 2-9. Lavelle Edwards is 3-5 in bowl games. But those records obviously will change dramatically tonight. Perryman and Rogers, the setbacks behind the quarterback, Chris Zerbrug. Vince Bean comes in motion from left to right. It is Rogers who gets the game's first call, and he gets a couple of yards. Rick Rogers, with an injured knee during the season, had 1,000 yards a year ago. One of the many Wolverine running backs to gain over 1,000 yards in a season. This year, Jamie Morris has been the leading ball carrier, and he's only a freshman. First time that has happened in Wolverine history. Bean comes out wide to the left. Go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just saying, if this team ever stayed healthy all year long, you wonder what Michigan would have done.
Twin receivers to the left side, Jokish and Bean. And it is Perryman who gets the call across the 25-yard line. Number 59, Whittingham, or correction, 53, Carey Whittingham, the left side linebacker, in on the play for BYU. From the BYU secondary, a look at the Michigan offense. Third down play coming up, 3rd and 2 Michigan. As we enter the 2nd minute of play, first quarter, Michigan's first possession offensively. And a tight look at Bob Zerbrug, the sophomore quarterback. Back to throw on 3rd down. Pass is caught over the middle for a first down. Sim Nelson, the receiver, on the play, and Steve Heyman, the strong safety, made the tackle.
They were looking outside for the wide receiver in the back going to the outside, and the tight end came open over the middle. But you have to give credit to the offensive line, because there was, for Zerbrug, there was an awful lot of time to throw the football.
Jokish wide to the right side. Vince Bean to the near side to the left. First down, Michigan, their own 35. This is Rogers. Excellent pursuit by Brigham Young. Steve Heyman, the strong safety, and Mark Allen, the right quarterback, chased him out of bounds.
When we talk about Brigham Young defense, Howard, that's a classic example of trying to run wide. And Steve Heyman, number 42, you're going to see him to the outside. Now watch, Rogers is going to be the man with ends up with the ball, but look at how they string it out to the outside. Govia, number 34, is the linebacker. He was supposed to take the quarterback. He did that. Then Steve Heyman, the corner, comes up, makes the play.
Loss of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 13 for Michigan from their own 32-yard line. Zerbrug. A little bit too high at the 45-yard line, intended for Vince Bean.
Marv Allen, number 49, just put the pressure on Zerbrug. He really didn't have enough time to throw the ball. Got some zip on the ball, but did not hit his target. A little bit too high.
Sim Nelson comes out of the ball game, replaced by the tight end number 81, Eric Cadis. Nelson seemed to have a bit of an arm injury in the first sequence of plays, but he has come back since that time. We have a 3rd and 13 play for Michigan from their own 32-yard line. Zerbrug looking for Bean. Excellent reception by Vince Bean, close to a first down at the 45-yard line. Vince Bean, scouts will tell you, is as good a pro prospect as Bo Schembechler has on his team.
You cannot throw a prettier pass than Zerbrug threw on this play to Vince Bean. There is protection there. Zerbrug has time, but just take a look where the ball is. To the outside, no chance for number 25 Sproles to get to the football. Bean catches it on the way out. He didn't have time to look. I don't believe he picked up the first down. He may be about a half a yard short.
Zerbrug completed 57% of his passes during the year. Remember, he was a 3rd-string quarterback when they went to spring practice. And it is a first down for the Wolverines. Made it by the laces, Paul.
Yeah, the very fat laces.
Michigan coming out throwing the football here early on. You know, somebody once said that teams that throw the ball exceptionally well defend against the pass well. And BYU throws it as well as anybody around in college football.
And I don't think Michigan wants to get into 3rd and long situations where they really have to throw the ball. They want to control the football, control the clock, and keep BYU off the field.
12 and a half minutes to play first quarter. Michigan in the initial drive from their own 45-yard line. Rogers Running into a bevy of blue shirts, led by Kurt Govea, the weak side linebacker, junior from Hawaii. Rogers, a senior from Inkster, Michigan, 6'2", 216 pounds.
You know, we talk all week long, and everybody's talking about how does Brigham Young handle the pressure being number one. You just wonder sometimes how Michigan handles it being ignored all week long, and it's really what happened to them. You don't read that much about them. You don't see that much. You're talking about, is BYU number one? Should they be number one? I think Michigan is showing that they've handled it very well.
Jokic goes out, and Gilvanti Johnson is in at flanker. Rogers on the sweep. 50 into BYU territory near the 46-yard line. It'll be third down coming up in about a yard and a half. Kerry Whittingham, the left side linebacker from Provo, Utah, making the tackle for BYU.
Steve Heyman played this so well. Number 42, watch him. He takes on the block, but he'll get back into the play. His job was to turn the running back, who is Rogers, into the defense. Watch what he does. He takes on the block, spins back. Here comes Rogers. Kyle Morrell, number 5, makes the tackle. But I think Heyman made the play.
2 tight ends in the game for Michigan. Bean goes out. Caddis comes in. Third down and just about 2 yards for first. Loose ball, Gerald White, short of a first down. Tremendous play. Leon White and Steve Heyman, the strong safety. He's the one that strung out the play very well.
Steve Heyman did it again. Gerald White, number 22, dropped the toss from the quarterback, and Heyman was back in the back, taking on the blocker again and making the play down on the ground.
So the Michigan punting unit comes on. Number 43, Monty Robbins, averages 44 yards per kick. Number 23, Vei Sakahama, is standing back at the 10-yard line. Averages just under 10 yards per return on punts. Here's Robbins' punt. Wobbly spiral. Takes a Michigan roll inside the 15. To the 10-yard line, and BYU is backed up at their own 10. So Michigan comes up empty on their first drive, but they held the ball a while. 10:16 to play. First quarter. There is no score in the game. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Over the years, a lot of small businesses have developed their own systems of communicating.
Yes, sir. Eric, talk to
But now there's a better way. Meet the Merlin system from AT&T. Merlin's a telephone, an intercom, a conference caller, and has dozens of features you can select.
Henderson.
So Merlin can grow as your small business grows. Call about Merlin. AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's make a love.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's make a love.
Kyle Morrell shaken up on the last defensive sequence for Brigham Young. He says he's all right. The senior from Bountiful, Utah. 6'2", 184-pounder. So the explosive offense. So the Cougars of BYU come out of the field. Led by number 6, Robbie Bosco. Number 1 in total offense in America. And they go to the ground to no avail. Lorke Haimuli, the ball carrier for BYU, loses about 3 on the play because Tim Anderson, the interior linebacker, was there on the spot.
Surprise you?
What, they're running the ball?
Yeah. Well, LaVelle Edwards told us they put 3 more running plays in this week, and they're up to a total 6. All right, Hamuli's going to come out number 35. It is a draw play. Hammerstein, number 66, is the man that makes the play, and the linebackers are blitzing.
So it'll bring up a 2nd and 14, BYU. They get back to the original line of scrimmage, and that is about all. Hey, Mooley, tackled by Mike Mallory, the right side linebacker for Michigan. Mallory and his brother Mike Mallory and Doug Mallory, their dad, the head football coach at Indiana. Must be an interesting matchup when Michigan plays Indiana, right?
And the other thing, there are 7 sets of brothers on Michigan's team. They're not all dressed and playing. Some are freshmen.
Third down play, and Bosco has got a first down and more to the 29-yard line. Brad Cochran was there to make the tackle on Glenn Kozlowski.
Now, even if the first time Robbie Bosco throws the ball, you're not ever going to question anymore, can he throw the ball, because he hits Kozlowski between 4 defenders, right on target, in full stride. Kozlowski, if he had broken the 1 tackle, would have been gone.
A 19-yard pickup on the play and a first down. Brigham Young with 8:52 to play first quarter. BYU's first offensive series. Kozlowski out wide to the left side. With a backfield split, Bosco back to throw. Dumps it off to Heimuli. Has a first down and more to midfield. Doug Mallory made the stop on the play on Loke Heimuli. The sophomore, 5'11", 207 pounds, from Hawaii. 21-yard pickup for Brigham Young and a first down.
It's the one thing about Brigham Young, you must watch everybody, because Heimuli's going to come out 35. Look at the right of your screen. Here's Heimuli, but he's going to run over Hicks, number 17, and a few other people until he picks up the first down.
The draw to Heimuli, slowed up at the line of scrimmage and loses a couple on the play. Back at the 45-yard line, Mike Mallory, the leading tackler, makes the stop on this man, Loke Heimuli.
Scarcelli, the defensive, their outside linebacker, is the man that hit Heimuli in the backfield, and that's a 5-yard loss? Now they throw again.
In his 13th season, this man, Lavelle Edwards, head football coach at Brigham Young's 23rd season overall. Bellini in the game now for Brigham Young. 2nd and 15. Bosco, short of the intended receiver, David Mills, the tight end. I think it's interesting about David Mills. He led the Cougars in receiving with 60 receptions this year, but his per-catch average is shocking for a tight end, 17 yards per reception.
Well, they use their tight end. The outside receivers make it possible, too, because you've got Haysbert, Kozlowski, Bellini to play on the outside. They've got great move, not great speed. And then you get a chance to use the tight end. Heimuli, that time, number 35, the fullback, was out into the flat, no one within 10 yards of him.
Bellini and Kozlowski come out wide to the right side. 3rd and 15, Brigham Young. Kozlowski in motion. Might have turned upfield too soon. Bosco looking long, and it is intercepted by Michigan at the 35-yard line, Brad Cochran. There is a marker on the play, but I'm feeling it's going to go against BYU for illegal motion. The interception will stand up.
Threw in a double coverage on the outside. They had the short and the long, the safety in the corner, covering Kozlowski.
Motion, offense, penalty decline, ball goes over.
Ball thrown short, not taking anything away, but Cochran played it very well, had his eye on the ball. Interception.
Robbie Bosco only threw 11 interceptions in all of 1984. 7:34 to play, first quarter. There is no score in the game. We'll be right back after these from your local station.
If you're in business and serious about it, where can you get all the business news you need these days? In a daily newspaper? Even in the best, you get only a section of business news. That's too little. In business magazines, well, if you have to wait a week to read the news, maybe it's not news anymore. Too late. Too little, too late. There's one publication that gives you all the business news you need when you need it, the Wall Street Journal. Every business day in the Journal, the world's largest staff of business news experts reports anything happening anywhere that can affect business, your company, your career, in depth, in detail, in time for you to use it. If you're serious about business, too little, too late isn't good enough. You need the Wall Street Journal.
Save $7.50 off the cover price with a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. Order 19 weeks for $39. Phone toll-free 800-372-3000. That's 19 weeks, just $39. And save $7.50. Phone 800-372-3000.
Goodyear Blimp Columbia, based in Carson, California, and the pilot Nick Nicolari from El Toro, California, and our cameraman Don Pearsall. High atop Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. Chris Zerbrug, the sophomore quarterback of Michigan. Perryman across the 40-yard line to the 45, and looks to be enough for a first down.
Well, we know that Morrell is all right, and Heyman's going to come up and make the play. The blocking in line, just beautiful. Govea doesn't make the tackle. There goes Morrell. He gets run over by Perryman, and Heyman is the man that makes the tackle, number 42.
Wonder how Kyle Morrell is feeling now. It looked like he was shaken up on the first defensive sequence for Brigham Young. And whether or not he's 100% now. A gain of 10 on the play and a first down. Perryman straight ahead for about 4 yards. Govea, the weak side linebacker for Brigham Young, in on the stop. Bob Perryman, a junior from Buzzard Bay, Massachusetts.
Got to be mean.
We're talking some mean here.
We're talking Buzzard Bay.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. Michigan with 6:40 to play, first quarter. There's no score in the game. Michigan's second offensive series after a turnover, an interception of a Robbie Bosco pass. Zerbrug on the pump fake, looking for a lot, and he gets nothing. Thrown it too far. Intended for Triando Markray, the flanker, number 18.
Markray made an out move on Sproles and then an up move. Zerbrug read it fine, threw it to the outside, too far to the outside, but Sproles, number 25, Jeff Sproles, did not take the fake, played it beautifully.
BYU Cougar leading on his Chargers out there on the field. Speaking of the Chargers, you're on the same stadium turf as the San Diego Chargers play right here at Jack Murphy Stadium. 3rd and 6 play coming up, Michigan. BYU showing blitz. Zerbrug to the outside. I don't believe the pass is going to be ruled complete. I think he was juggling it. Paul Jokic was juggling the ball as he carried it out of bounds. He had his feet down in time, but did not have control of the ball.
Jokic really did not control the ball, but look where Zerbrug's throwing the football. He is throwing the ball very, very well to the outside. Watch this. Jokic has the ball in his hands, should have made the catch, did not have control going out of bounds, and even though he dragged his leg, he dragged it out of bounds.
So the Michigan punter, Monty Robbins. To Sikahema. Robbins juggles the snap, but comes away and kicks a beauty. Sikahema at the 12. Excellent downfield coverage by the Wolverines. Michigan special teams working well on that play, and it's BYU's ball. No score in the ball game with 6:17 to play. First quarter, a 39-yard punt by Robbins. No score in the game. We will be right back.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
This flight doesn't get scrubbed for bad weather. A high-performance fighter has the technology to handle it. So does this, the all-weather Delco Freedom Battery, with the power to start you in the cold and the technology to beat the heat. And you never add a drop of water. Never wait for trouble. Get the all-weather Delco Freedom Battery.
From $39.95 for a Series 40, call 800 AC Delco.
I'm Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm a family man as well as a fighting man, just like you military and civil service people. And I'm here to tell you that Devon Stores cares enough about you to give you a great choice of gifts for the holidays. And they'll also give you an easy way to pay for them. So stop by any of Devon's over 100 stores real soon. And from Devon and me, happy holidays.
At Devon Home Center Stores.
When you've got a sewer drain problem, you don't need promises. You need help. Call me. I'll be there before you can say.
Franchises available. No score in the ball game. We have 6:17 to play, first quarter. BYU offensively. Howard David along with Paul McGuire at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego as the contingent of Wolverine fans and the band. They played before the ball game. They are sensational. Thus far, Michigan with 28 offensive yards on the ground. BYU -5. BYU not noted to be a great running team. More about a pass, and Bosco to Kozlowski. Taken out of bounds at around the 19-yard line. by Garland Rivers, the strong corner.
You think Kozlowski didn't come to play? Did you see the forearm that he hit Garland Rivers with? They're going to throw it out. Here goes Robbie Bosco out to Kozlowski. Watch the end of the play. Kozlowski gets the ball. He's still in bounds. And watch his left arm. Bang. He's still standing. Rivers on the ground.
Probably had to spend many a Sunday afternoon defending against his brother, right? Or catching balls against his brother Mike, who's a nickelback for the Miami Dolphins. And they throw the ball not too shabbily.
5,000 yards?
I guess so. Mills in motion. Hey, Mooley. Not much to the 20, but it's probably all he needed. Had to get to just about the 20-yard line for a first down. Mike Mallory, the linebacker for Michigan, making the stop on the play. It's going to be close to a first down. Looks to be enough for a BYU first down with 6:07 to play first quarter. Still no score in the game. Interesting thing to note about BYU, they have scored in 44 of 48 quarters this year. In 2 quarters, when it was so far out of reach, they kind of laid back a little bit. Not as severe as John McKay did a week ago, but nevertheless, it was all right. Bosco. Kelly Smith, the receiver, for a chunk of yards, about 8 on the play. Garland Rivers chased him out, along with Tim Anderson.
You know, it's so incredible. I would not want to defense this team, and they talk about all they do. They throw the football. Look at this record: 117, 37, 1. They throw the ball all the time. You know, and you get criticized if they ran the ball all the time. They would be criticized. If you have a mixture, they're criticized. But Lavelle Edwards with this team, every single man out there, they have 5 potential receivers at all times.
Kozlowski to the left side. Haysbert, Bellini rather, in motion as Bosco goes back. Kozlowski with a diving reception and a first down at the 34-yard line. There is a marker on the play, probably roughing the passer, and Bosco is shaken up.
And he is limping.
Lavelle Edwards right now has the Adam's apple in his throat very tight. Let's listen to the call of Wendell Shelton.
He got up limping.
We have illegal shift against the offense. We have roughing the passer against the defense. The penalty's offset. Replay the down.
Crowd is booing because Bosco is hurt on the play. And if they lose Robbie Bosco, they're in severe trouble, to say the least. Blaine Fowler is the backup quarterback, and Bosco has got a lot of pain on his face. Blaine Fowler is only a junior. And he is the number 2 quarterback. If Bosco cannot return, BYU has got a big problem. And that is the understatement of the night.
Yeah, but how about a great opportunity for Fowler, too, coming into the ball game? He can still throw the ball. He's got a good arm. And they've got an awful lot of receivers that can catch the football.
Fowler on the year, a 65% completion percentage. It's going to be a 2nd and 2 play. Brigham Young at their own 28-yard line. Michigan showing blitz. And Fowler wants to put it up right away. Pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Jim Scarcelli was the man that deflected the pass. And it will bring up a 3rd down.
First of all, it is tough. Fowler coming in, sitting out, not throwing the ball for over an hour, and then Fowler comes in. Scarcelli, you're going to see the big hand right there. Just timed the ball perfectly. There was a man open, Kelly Smith, number 21, the halfback, out in the flat that would have gotten him the first down had the ball been there. Scarcelli made a great play.
Meanwhile, you're seeing the feet of Robbie Bosco. He's got an injured ankle. Hurt on the last play, the previous play, and they're testing whether or not he can stand on both feet. Timeout is called for by Brigham Young University with 4:47 to play first quarter. No score in the game. Blaine Fowler is now in it, quarterback for the BYU Cougars. We will be right back to Jack Murphy Stadium in just a moment.
Only $59.99 for this Nissan truck, and you're telling me no other leading standard compact has more horsepower?
$59.99.
More standard payload, too.
$59.99.
Double walls, 5-speed?
$59.99. Same sticker price as last year.
More truck for no more money.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Right now, special incentives from Nissan can help save you big money at your Datsun dealer. But hurry, offer limited.
No matter what shape you're in, everybody needs exercise.
In exercise, Nautilus is the undisputed leader for a very simple reason. It works.
If you're serious about exercise, and you should be, why not the best?
For full information about the new and revolutionary Nautilus for the home, call toll-free 1-800-445-9000. That's 1-800-445-9000.
All right, I'm on the sideline with Dr. Jack Walker, one of the team doctors at BYU, the conditioner Robbie Bosco.
Well, Robbie probably has sustained a first-degree medial collateral ligament tear. He may be able to come back. It's too early to say at this point in time.
All right, it sounds like a severe injury, but you suggest he might be able to play.
Well, it's a stress to the ligament. We don't know that it's torn, and they've taken him into the dressing room to examine him right now.
All right, thank you. Back to Howard and Paul.
All right, Mike. Fowler, broken play, looked to be that. And yet enough for a first down. Ivan Hicks defending on the play. On the receiver, the tight end, David Mills. Bosco, while he was in there, was 4 of 6 for 57 yards, had 1 interception.
Howard, watch this. The play-action pass. Watch how it freezes the linebackers. Keeps everybody to the inside. And when that happens, you got David Mills going out. Really, the coverage by Hicks was not that bad, but they only had to pick up 2 yards.
It's enough for a first down. BYU, 1st and 10, their own 34-yard line with 4:17 to play first quarter. If you've just tuned our way, Robbie Bosco is injured. What could be a torn ligament in his right ankle. Fowler looking for help. And manages to pick up 3 or 4 yards on the play on the scramble. Mike Mallory defending on the play for the Michigan Wolverines.
Michigan defensive line drove the offensive line back into the quarterback. Now Fowler is only 5'11". Robbie Bosco 6'2.5". Watch this Michigan line take the offensive line back to the quarterback. That's Brooks, 52. Fowler can't see over, so he ducks underneath, goes upfield, and picks up 3 or 4 yards.
Mike Hammerstein also helping out on the play, the defensive tackle. Interesting matchup is going on down in the trenches between Al Sinsich, the middle guard of Michigan, and Trevor Maddich, the 6'4.5", 262-pound center of Brigham Young. Second down play. Fowler has got the receiver. What looks to be close to a first down. Garland Rivers defending on the play. Lorque Haimuli, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. Bosco has a knee ligament strain. That is all we know at this point. We'll keep on top of that story, which could very well be key to Brigham Young's fortune tonight.
Well, Haimuli should have the first down. At least he should have had it when he first caught the ball, but I think he's got it anyway. Yeah.
BYU Cougars average nearly 500 yards in total offense per ball game and 37 points per game. I don't believe they have been shut out in the first quarter of any ball game this year, but right now they have not put anything on the board with still 3 minutes to play in the quarter.
You know, you say, all right, look out, Robbie Bosco's out, and you've got Blaine Fowler in there. This is when an offensive team and a defensive team, they pick themselves up and play even better than they're capable of playing.
Kozlowski out to the right side, and Bellini comes in motion. Excellent reception by the tight end, David Mills. It'll be short of a first down. Tim Anderson defending over there for the Wolverines. Anderson, a senior from Ann Arbor, Michigan. As you get a look at David Mills, the senior from Sandy, Utah.
8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. All right, here's Fowler now. The offensive line, they're picking up very well. You see the guard shifting down, and moves down, takes up the blitzer. And here's Fowler. He's going to throw to Mills. Now look, you've got a linebacker, Anderson, covering Mills at tight end. That's not going to happen.
So it will bring up a second down and about 3 yards as you look at Glenn Kozlowski, the wide receiver for Brigham Young. 55 receptions on the year. Fowler with good protection. Has enough for a first down. He stepped out of bounds, but not before we recorded a first down. Chased out of there by Tim Anderson. Heads up play by the quarterback, Blaine Fowler of Brigham Young.
Number 90, Vince DeFelice was the defensive end on that side and defensive tackle, and he had some pressure on it, but Fowler, reading well, knowing that he didn't have anyone open downfield, went to the outside, picks up the first down. That's heads-up football.
Fowler was heavily recruited by Penn State, by Pittsburgh, by Purdue, and elected to come to Brigham Young. And right now, Lavelle Edwards is glad he did. Tough situation. Robbie Bosco is out of the ball game with what might be a torn